College. Today I have another enlightening video. I want to go over something about black hole theory, and I want to talk about solar sails and possibly event horizon of a black hole. Um, I want to talk about solar sails because a lot of people aren't going to understand what I'm talking about here, but I'm going to try to explain it best I possibly can anyway. All right. So we are surrounded by stars, and a black hole is surrounded by stars, right? So, of course, a black hole is going to have light shooting into it. Light is energy and mass. But people say that light is not mass, but here on Bomb Squad College, we don't actually believe in that. Now, I want to talk about what a solar sail be. I want to talk about how black holes can actually shoot out an expanding algorithm. Basically, a a supermassive piece of molecule has heat death. Right? In my previous video, I was talking about heat death of the universe, and that's a four-dimensional operating system, ever-expanding universe clause. It's a natural four-dimensional mechanic. And what I want to talk about is when something is expanding, how can it expand? And I want to talk about creating solar sails that work in one dimension and in two in the same way. Now, I'm going to talk about this right here. This will be like a gradient. All right, we're going to talk about this triangle. This super important aspect in theory to understand right now when creating the theory of a solar sail mixed with um, with uh, vector dilemma. So the last two videos I was talking about, I talked about vector dilemma and solar, well, and heat death. Now I'm going to be talking about solar sails mixed in with these previous knowledges as well. So all the stars out here are shooting in every direction possible that they possibly can, right? And the same thing with over here. So the idea of a solar sail is you can't actually move anywhere with equal amount of stars surrounding you. But if you have a design like this, where black is the most dense and gray and white is the least dense, you can actually begin to create a solar sail. And what's going to happen here is when particles of light and forward momentum come into the solar sail on the back end, meaning the idea here is that solar sail travels this way, right? Thus creating a black hole to sustain itself and continue collecting mass without exploding. The idea here is that the black hole is sending out micro solar sails, such as this blueprint here. And what's happening here is it is taking all of the kinetic energy. It is like a triangle, a diminishing triangle, or a diminishing. It can be in any shape. You can actually warp this in almost any shape. I don't have the right tools right now to kind of show you, but it could be shaped like this and still have the same exact effect. Where on one side, it is super low mass and scaling up to higher mass and higher mass and the super density. When the light and the particles are coming in this way, it will immediately take this operating system and it will build it. It'll alternate forward momentum. Okay, why forward momentum? Because it hits the particles instead, and it hits the particles dead on for the most part. right? It is mostly bombarding the particles dead on because it's super dense. It will also get trapped in here, thus enhancing its kinetic spin and its forward momentum this way, right? Where when coming out over here, it should theoretically do the exact same thing, except there will be more transactions. Since there are more transactions, more of the forward kinetic energy will actually alternate into kinetic spin, causing the entire operating system to go in a forward momentum relative to the blueprint trajectory. Now, this is the idea of solar energy mixed with momentum solar sail. So all the energy coming in this way is getting alternated into solar spin kinetic energy. So everything in here is getting highly kinetically spun, where everything here is not necessarily getting as highly kinetically spun. It still is going to capture a lot of kinetic spinning because there's going to always be, the forward momentum. The forward momentum is the highest point here. And the whole idea here is that this wants to go this way, but at the same time, it's also a piece of the black hole itself. So the black hole will send out micro explosions, and the micro explosions will alternate into a blueprint such as this, right? While it's flying out. As it flies out, it expands out, it turns into a solar sail, it captures more energy and mass, it comes back into the equation, and as it's altering, it's shifting in gray matter format and light matter format and dark matter format, where it's shifting into visible and non-visible light. Basically, here, when it is shifting out, it is visible. It is emanating light. It is in a phenotype of mass oscillation that which it is removing or allowing the release of light. And then as the solar sail alternates out to the event horizon, it actually turns into a phenotype of dark matter. Dark matter collects all possible light, meaning that it has a near perfect clockworking of root matter fundamentals. That's where this dark position is in the solar sail theory here, right? And as that occurs, it creates an instantaneous desire to get pushed back in to the black hole, thus decohering again and rippling back out, turning back into light matter again, because it has its vacuum-based clockworking, right? It's altering back into a more vacuum percentile per square inch piece of mass solar sail, and altering its kinetic energy, into expansive kinetic energy, due to heat death theory, right? Which you have to watch my previous video. Heat death of the universe, and it has a funny ending to understand why operating systems that have forward momentum and spin momentum are always ever expanding, right? And the stars are shooting them back in, so it's a constant implosion explosion reaction here. But here is a really good theory on how to create like maybe a type 5 civilization as well. Also, another one is these black holes are kind of naturally forming in a way, is kind of my belief, is eventually randomly oscillating matter will eventually create some kind of more advanced or super advanced oscillation of something similar to a black hole. And then it will constantly be collecting energy, but one day its implosion cycle will turn into an explosion cycle, thus creating another star possibly. Now that does not give us everlasting life without illogical root universe dilemma or perpetual motion root reality, which we don't have necessarily right here. That would be something that would be under lock and key, because that's like sacred holy life, that'd be the most important thing of all history ever, and that would be scaling back infinite time before our perceived, just logically speaking. And it'd be, you'd be seeking singularity, you'd be seeking singularity with that kind of wisdom, if you do have perpetual motion within a finite locked operating system. Now, we can create perpetual motion in this world, and it has to do with solar sails and root universe shenanigans, but at the same time, it's not permanent perpetual motion because of heat death. One day, every scientist realizes, like, yeah, sure, I can create gravity-based perpetual motion. Yeah, sure, I can make solar-based perpetual motion. But at the end of the real day, in the real world, in the real life, like, yeah, I can make rainwater, perpetual motion. Yeah, I can make energy perpetual motion. It's like, yeah, you can't actually. Like, at the end of the day, you actually can't. Like, even if you think that you can, you can't, because we're expanding at a rate that which it will be destroyed one time, no matter what. So the perpetual motion is like something that's more so for like out of the universe kind of theory. This is more so like how a star is born from a black hole theory. Is once it gets enough kinetic energy, one day it will not operate the way the black hole is operating. The black hole is assumedly a non-conscious being, and even if it is the most conscious being, and even if another star is the most conscious being, and they are both like at battle, a star can get burnt out, and a black hole can start to become a sun or a star at the same time. Actually, one smallest fundamental bit, like right here that I just drew, can actually have X kinetic energy, right? Where this entire black hole has Y kinetic energy. And all that really needs to happen is X equals greater than Y, right? If X equals greater than Y, and this little piece here gets captured in the solar sail and gets inside of here, even if this black hole is a sentient being, it cannot counter the power and will of this particle here. All right, this particle, it can be as root matter as you possibly can get, and it wouldn't matter as long as it's an operating system, right? Not necessarily the lowest possible bit of matter of all time, right? If it's the lowest possible bit of all time, it could actually kinetically charge. And if the black hole is aware of this bit, right, then it could actually kinetically charge the black hole, and the black hole could actually gain even more supremacy. But the problem is if this black hole is already theorized by this particle's, sentient counter, like let's say somebody wants to make this black hole a sun, they know it's a conscious being. This sun is a conscious being. Things you can't possibly predict, right? These are like elder ancient gods, 50 million plus years old, theoretically, where they're trying to, save livelihood, save lives in general. This particle is one of the most important particles. If it gets captured and put in here, it can eventually turn this into a sun. So there is my example to try and help y'all understand vector dilemma and black holes and stars, really solar sails as well. So I hope that helps y'all out. I hope that gives you guys a little idea of what I've been dealing with here. I'm honestly on a really big quest fighting witchcraft and demonism and just like unholy people in general. And bringing this science out there into the public should probably help curb this and stomp this out, because, I'm Archangel Matthew, for real. Like, I am Archangel Matthew. My middle name is Michael. Like, right now, I am, like, tasked with one of the biggest burdens of all time, which is literally disgruntled youth, demons, like, people that just won't grow up, people that are already on death sentences, people that are already on trials from, like, courts all over the world, if not the entire universe, if not past our known universe. And the number one thing that they're not understanding is vector dilemma. When you kinetically attack somebody and try and torture somebody with scalar technology, you actually are doing vector dilemma right here. Like, you are kinetically charging them. Like, I am made of vacuum for a reason. I'm a mixture of vacuum and clockwork all over the place. And when you shoot into us, you actually kinetically charge us. And there's proof, that you did it. There's proof in the air that you did it. There's proof in the light that you did it. There's proof inside of me that you did it. There's proof inside of you that you did it. And it's not just there, like when somebody else sees it, there's proof inside of them. And when somebody else learns it, there's proof inside of them. And when somebody learns something, a lot of times, instead of them learning it, their entire agglomeration learns it instantly. And some of them don't learn it right away. They learn it later. And then when they learn it, another conglomeration learns it because they believe it, because they check the redundancies inside of their languages and their kinetic protocols, and they save it. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And eventually your life is not what you thought it was going to be, because you thought you were Dark Army and you thought you had the whole universe figured out and you thought you had supremacy over everybody. But really, you just had a corner in the universe that ended up getting found out and then raided, and you lost it. And that's my story. So kick the darkness before it takes you over, because raiding time happens around year 200 of your existence, as far as I've read in Akashic records. This might sound a little bit crazy to some of you, but others of you will know it to be true, and some of you will learn it to be true. At around year 200 of your life, you are going to face a judgment that's not like anything. At year 100, you are going to face a life-changing event, death. At year 50, you're going to face your midlife crisis, which is basically choose a side. Some people get it early. Some people don't get it early. It's basically, you're either good or evil, pick one, right? And I'm already past my midlife crisis, and I'm only 33, so, I'm light no matter what. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, you're either good or evil. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not here to, like, try and beat you. Like, I already know I won. Like, I have vector dilemma, I have Heisenberg uncertainty, I have, redundancy proofs, I have, mortality proofs, I have transistor logistics proofs, I have unhackability proof, I have raid proof, I have, I have visual proof inside of the reality we live in. Like, go outside, you know what I mean? Like, I have attempted murders that I've faltered. I have many attempted murders that I've faltered, like Rose Dark Army. It's not just Dark Army, like Satan Dark Army, Devil Dark Army. Like, I had so many attempted murders. There's dark sectors in, like, Illuminati that have put hit lists on me, and I have over 5 million successful defenses of anti-murders. Over 5 million. I haven't looked in years, but you can look it up myself. Just take my voice and look it up in the Akashic and say how many attempted murders has he faltered. I faltered it with these logistics. Understanding kinetic logistics and knowing where to move mass is hilariously easy when you understand how easy four-dimensional logistics are. 4 dimensions is root here. And as long as you master 4-dimensional root logistics, you can actually control the world so easily. And it's not something for evil, like, it's not like this capitalism evil based, take over the world. It's not that. It's already set in motion. The universe is already bricked more than you can possibly imagine. Like, look outside and see the stars and the sun. Like, that's where gravity comes from. That's why you're stable. It's because light is already pre-firing in every single quadrant. E equals mc squared means in every single vector you could possibly select, there's at least 2 times the energy of the speed of light. There's so much energy around, and it's not your energy. Like you think it, like some people think it is, but it's not. It's the universe's energy. Your energy is so insignificantly small, and you get to move some of it sometimes and use some of it sometimes. Like, such a small portion of it is actually yours. And such a large portion is the universe, nobody's. Nobody ever gets it, no matter what. It's always the universe is forever because it's so powerful. It just phases right through you or changes you on demand, on command, on impact. And then this small little force is you. Like, people think that that there's so much and can steal from you, but the universe is temporary and random. So it's not fully random. What I mean by that is, like, it's a random event that we're even alive right now in this moment. So it's like, take every moment as precious, like life. We don't have infinity like you think we do. We have finite, which means we have to be swift with our judgment. We have to swiftly find evil and make them, like, obey our command. We have to take them out. We have counterterrorism, we have death sentence, we have military, we have all kinds of stuff to stop this. And it's super big right now in this world right now when we're dealing with so much corruption. But I hope this video helps you. I hope this helps your family, your friends. Share this video to anybody that you think is evil, especially because they need to understand kinetic spin and forward momentum vector dilemma. You can't know that the particle is really there, and you can't know that you're at root mass. Holy grail science is a forever thing. You forever have to create larger tesseracts in order to farm lower mass fundamental root bits of matter and energy. And right now in public eyes, we're at quantum entanglement is magic. Quantum entanglement is not magic. It's science. All right. And until you have that fully understood and decrypted, you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. Can't go out here on a whim and just pledge allegiance to the wrong team. Like, don't flip a coin. You know what I mean? Like, think about it this way. Like, if you're an evil lord and you're recruiting people to be an evil takeover group and you believe you already won, if the enemy comes up to you and they're good people, at the end of the day, you might have mercy on them. But if you're a good lord and they come up to you and they're pure rotten evil and they're doing this, they think they already won, they think they already won, and they're pure evil, they've done so many terrible things, I seriously doubt you're going to get my mercy. And I seriously doubt you're going to get any respectful lord's mercy. And that's another thing. Like, I'm Illuminati and I got my lordship. I'm my own Lord in Christ as per my wisdom, as per my state of transcendence. Like, as I grew up and as I became wiser, I became my own Lord. Like, I got gifted my own lordship back again. And I took that, I took that with honor and pride, because I know that I'm able to take, my demons and be able to beat them. And there's nothing they can do about it, because science on my side. Like, I could literally sit here and give up and surrender all day and never stop surrendering, and I'm still gonna win because of vector dilemma. The way I'm created, the way my operating system is created, I'm still gonna win. Even if I literally quit at every single option and I surrender at every single option, I'm still going to exist until heat death. And that's my story. I believe that fully. You know why? Because I'm Archangel Matthew and I was invited to the Last Supper, and I'm Illuminati Supreme Commander First Class, and I'm out here, baby. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Peace.